Good morning, parents. I'm Valerie Abrahamian with Advocates for Angels, and I am the IEP Navigator. I help parents get the education their child needs to thrive, both in school and in life after high school. So today's Facebook Live is entitled, School is Starting, Are You Ready? I'm going to continue to do this topic for the next couple weeks because school starts at various different times across the nation in different districts in different states. So, parents, I have great tips for you today on how to prepare yourself for the new school year. Many states are starting in a virtual model. Some states are starting in a live in-person on the school brick and mortar building model. So I'm going to be discussing today tips for parents that are still in the situation of virtual or remote learning model, and how you parents can have the advocacy steps and guidance that you need to hold your local school district accountable to ensure that it doesn't look like last March, April, May, and June when children did not receive an education and our kids fell behind and regressed and lost skills due to the district's inability and failing to meet their obligations to implement the IEP and provide the services listed in the IEP. So the first thing I want to talk about is the device. Okay, so every child on an IEP should receive a device. Every child all across the board in general education or special education should have received a device if you are in a virtual model in your school district. If you haven't received your device and school is starting, then your school district is failing to meet their obligations. Congress has given lots and lots of money across the nation to all the districts and all the states to provide devices to every student who is taking part in virtual or remote learning. You need to contact your district immediately and demand your device be provided. Now, I have an example of a situation in CNUSD, Corona Norco Unified School District, and I believe it's probably occurring in other districts in California. We have a shortage of devices, so they say. So what happened is that they're stating that they placed their order in July, and they still haven't received that order for the large amount of devices moving into a virtual model and remote learning. So, you know, what I have to say about that is Secretary DeVos stated that all kids need a device quite a while ago, way before July. So I believe they should have made those orders in before that, so we're not in the situation now where children are starting the new school year without a device. Now, how on earth are they supposed to access a curriculum, see their teacher, receive teaching, academic instruction, and receive their services in the IEP if they don't have a device? Unless they can use their parent's device or the parents figure out another way to provide their child with a device. This is the situation that this school district is in, and I have heard of other districts that are in the same situation. So make sure you get your device, parents. Stay on top of them. You know, make sure, because, you know, who knows, they might run out of this order and then they're going to have to place another order and you're going to be even further behind waiting further. So if your child is not going to receive the minutes required by Congress during however many weeks it takes to get your device, they're going to owe you those instructional minutes. They're going to owe you those services. In the IEP, parents, a device, the failure to provide devices to a child does not let them off the hook for implementing the IEP. Okay? They should have foreseen this. They should have made sure it didn't happen. They owe you your IEP, whatever's in your IEP. And if they don't provide it, they owe you those instructional minutes or those services. They need to make it up. You know, parents are asking about the schoolwork let's see. The parents are asking, you know, how will my student begin the school year without access to remote virtual learning? And what they're saying is your school will work with your family to provide alternative resources, materials, and support to your student to continue their learning. If you haven't heard from your teacher by the first day of school with additional resources for you to teach your child, please reach out to your site principal. So what does that sound like, parents? Just like March, April, May, and June, right? You're going to receive alternative resources, materials, and supports for your student. And guess who's going to be the teacher? You. Like I said, they're going to owe you that academic instruction minutes, as well as the services that were missed during the time they're waiting for the devices to come in. And then they also talk about other things about grading, how will a child be graded? How will a child, be marked as in attendance, as there if they don't have a device. So it's just a big snowball of more problems from the get-go at the beginning of the school year in a virtual educational world. They're starting off like this in this school district. And as I said, many other school districts across the nation, which is my point, parents, that I've been making for months since April of last year. Parents, if you don't learn and understand how to hold your school district accountable, the advocacy steps to take to make sure your child receives some kind of an education, the kids are not going to be educated. The districts are floundering. They still don't know what they are doing. Many districts are still arguing with the teachers' unions regarding the instructional minutes that teachers are required to teach, and so on and so forth. So again, my recommendation, please learn these steps. Please take action. Don't just sit back passively and reluctantly accept, but protest on social media how upset you are. Take action, parents. You have power. Your voice is powerful under IDEA, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. There are many things you can do to hold them accountable and to make sure this doesn't happen to your child, okay? So my next tip for parents let's talk about the instructional minutes that Secretary DeVos came down from Congress. That's a requirement of teachers to teach real, online, live instruction, just as if you were in school. Teachers to come on virtually, teach a lesson, and educate your child, okay? So for the 2020-2021 school year, the daily requirements will be 180 minutes for kindergarten, so 3 hours for kindergarten, 230 minutes for grades 1 to 3, so that's 3 hours and 50 minutes for grades 1 to 3, and 240 minutes for grades 4 to 12. So that's 4 hours of live virtual instruction for grades 4 to 12th grade. Okay, now let's talk about that. So breaking it down, I've already seen scheduling that's come in from different school sites that shows, okay, well, we're going to teach an hour and a half of live virtual instruction a day, and then we're going to have an hour of office hours, and office hours just basically means the teacher's available for you to ask a question of them, but it's not actual academic instruction, but they'll be available to ask a question, and the rest of the minutes will be used as independent study. That is not live virtual instruction, parents. The regulations are those amount of minutes that I just listed to you, live virtual instruction. Now, let's talk about what live virtual instruction could or might be. So in a classroom, when a teacher teaches, so they might give a live virtual or live instruction at the front of the class. They're going to teach their child, their kids in the class, academic instruction on a lesson. So it might be 15 minutes, 20 minutes, the lesson. And then what happens? Then they give a project, or they split up into small groups, or they do read something in their book, or they might do some type of a lesson plan or some type of a activity for that instruction that the teacher just provided. So of course, the teachers, they're online, and then she might do one of those things, but it has to be live with your teacher for that amount of time. And the virtual instruction might look like some of those things I just said, which is a typical virtual would be considered virtual academic minutes, and would be perfectly fine if they would just do that at those amount of minutes, okay? So now, I've heard many districts still, I believe San Diego Unified, they're still fighting with the teachers union about how many minutes they're going to teach. They want to teach, the teachers union wants only to do 3 hours. They don't want to teach the full amount for the 4 hours for grades 4 to 12. They want to only do 3 hours. So many school districts are still experiencing teachers unions fighting regarding the instructional minute time, when here we are, school starting. Many districts have started today, or a couple last week in California. Across the nation, I know it's different across the nation. In fact, it's different from district to district, or area to area. So depending on when you start your first day of school, these are some of the things you're going to need to be aware of and need to start planning for, to make sure your child doesn't not get their device, not receive the instructional minutes that is required, and that they're going to be learning this school year. So my next tip for you parents, which is really very valuable, is programs. Okay, so I don't have I think there'll be very few school districts that really are able to step up to the plate, get their teachers to do what they're supposed to do, have equitable plans in place, and enforce those plans, and really provide an equitable distance learning or remote learning. I just don't have any faith, because this situation we are today, they still are floundering, and school is starting. They did nothing over the summer. They didn't prepare. I just read this morning, I was in, I think it was Ontario Unified, or a school district here, I'm in California, where the first week or two, they're gonna be doing in-services and teacher development, staff development on training for virtual learning after school opened. So on students' learning time, they're gonna be training their teachers. So, these are some of the things that just give you the big red flag, like, wow, is this, how bad is this really gonna be? So parents, I'm going to give you some good tips on programs that you can ask your school district to purchase that will be able to take up the slack for teachers not providing, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, it's not the teacher's fault, it's the administration, it's the school boards that are fighting, it's the superintendent of that school district. They are the ones that run the show, they're the ones that call the shots, and they're the ones that should have been taken this very more seriously and stepped up to the plate and planned earlier and took into consideration some of these things. Yes, they don't have devices for students. Yep. Yeah, I just talked about that, Julie. All of CNUSD is out of devices, so kids are starting school without their device. And I just talked about that, Julie, so go back and listen to the beginning, because I talked about what you can do to address that and make sure that you get those minutes made up for the virtual instruction and any services in your IEP that you did not receive because your child didn't have a device. They must make that up, and things that steps you can take. So these are some of great programs, parents, that you can either ask your school district to purchase, or you can purchase to take up the slack for the teachers not being able to keep your child at grade level, so your child doesn't regress. And if your child is below grade level, to start closing that gap and having them make progress towards their goals. This is what we need to do this school year. If they continue to not make progress, not get an equitable education, they're going to continue to fall further behind, and the gap's going to widen. So what we need to do is make sure that they start making progress towards their goals and lessen the gap. And this isn't going to happen if they don't provide an equitable distance learning program for our kids. So The first, I'm going to list them out first, and then I'll give you details on each one. So one of them is iReady, the iReady program. That's a program. Lexia Core 5, Lexia Power In, or Power Up. I'm sorry, Lexia Power Up, Lexia Reading Plus, Khan Academy, Read Theory, and those are the programs. And now I'm going to give you just a little short preview on what those are. So many districts already use iReady. I know CNUSD uses iReady already. And iReady already. And so iReady is cool because it includes assessments, so progress monitoring at very short intervals along the way. So you can see your child's progress, you can see where they're at, and you can see how much they're growing and learning. So if they would continue to provide that and download that to kids' devices to take up the slack for where children aren't continuing to learn with the current program, that would be amazing. So any school district can purchase the iReady program and use it as their remote learning model. iReady was advised, but they don't sell to individual parents. They don't sell to parents, they only sell to school districts. So the school district would have to purchase it and download it into your child's device. It's a little expensive, but it's not as expensive as having all kids on IEPs continue to regress and lose skills. So that's one option. Okay. Now, if you purchase the Lexia reading and wait a second, I just said that's iReady. Okay, I'm going to talk about Lexia now. Lexia is the one you can purchase, parents. Lexia Core 5 is a digital research-based program for reading for pre-K through grade 5. Lexia Core 5 also offers a math program. It allows an adult or older child to help young children log in and log off, but does not encourage adult supervision of lessons. So they might need help logging in and logging out, but they are encouraged to work independently on the lesson. Lexia Core 5 programs can be purchased by school districts and by families. Okay? So then it also offers for older students Lexia Core Up, and it is designed for non-proficient readers in grades 6 and above. And it's for children who read, okay, so that's Lexia Power Up, designed for non-proficient readers in grades 6 and above. Then there's the next one is Lexia Reading Plus, is for children who read but who need more extensive practice in learning to read faster, recognize new words, and comprehend what they read. So there's 3 Lexia programs. I just listed them. The cost for a full year of unlimited Lexia reading instruction and progress monitoring reports is $175 for the full year. The cost for a full year of unlimited math instruction and progress monitoring reports is $75. Okay? So that's $250 for 180 days in the school year, which actually only comes up to $1.39 a day. So it's really a good value for Lexia, one of those Lexia programs. So again, you can request your school district to purchase it for you, and they fund it because they're not meeting the needs of your child. Your child isn't continuing to make progress towards their goals or receive educational benefit, or you can purchase it, parents, and just provide it to your child at home to take up the slack for what the school district isn't doing. Okay. Khan Academy is another one, been around for a long, long time. Lots of parents already know about it. It's free. And it's amazing, and kids love it. It's offered in 40 languages. So that's Khan Academy. It's Khan Academy. Read Theory provides remote personalized reading comprehension exercises for students in grade K through 12, and children also learning English as a second language. So Read Theory provides an initial assessment to determine the student's starting level, which is great because parents, we need to find out Where's our children's present level now compared to where they were in March when school stopped? Because they have regressed. So you need to know, where are they now before we continue on working on goals and moving forward and assessing our child and how much progress they're going to make next year. Don't let them start you off with your present level in March before school stopped, because then they're just taking all the regression out. You have to have current present levels and assessment now to determine your current accurate present levels for your child in order to move forward accurately for the next school year. Okay, so Read Theory provides an initial assessment, as I said, and supplemental worksheets and progress monitoring reports. Read Theory is free, so that's another great resource. Read Theory. Okay. So those are the really best programs for kiddos, you know, and that Read Theory, I mean, you might as well just get that for comprehension, because almost all kids on IEPs have comprehension issues. And that's usually a deficit for our kids on IEPs, is comprehension and reading. So that's really a great tip. So please look into that, parents. Like I said, CNUSD already has iReady. So all you have to do, parents, is say, I'm requesting you're going to request an IEP meeting. You're going to make your request in the IEP meeting in writing, or you can send an email and request it now and say, I'm requesting that iReady be downloaded into my child's device. When they finally get their device, be downloaded into the device. Okay, you guys, I did it again. I didn't plug my battery in. Oh, maybe someday I'll make this a habit and I will learn to do this before starting my Facebook Lives. Okay, parents, so those are my tips for the day. I know, like I said in the beginning of this video, but I don't want to harp on how horrible this situation is, how, just parents are stressed out. It looks like it's being placed on parents again, the burden to teach our children, no devices, teachers still arguing with how many minutes, but please be sure that you hold your teachers accountable to those minutes that I stated at the beginning of this Facebook Live. Again, I'll just go over it real fast. It's 3 hours a day for kindergarten. It is 3 hours and 50 minutes a day for grades 1 to 3, and it is 4 hours a day for grades 4 to 12. That's how many minutes they are required to teach your child every day. If they do not, you need to call an IEP meeting and you need to put in writing that they are not meeting the requirements handed down by Congress for teachers, for districts who are in the remote or virtual learning model this school year. Okay, so let's see if I have any questions over here by anybody. Okay. Alrighty, guys. So, like I said, I've been recommending the whole time, parents, call an IEP meeting. Call an IEP meeting now if you haven't already. In your IEP meeting, you're going to request that present levels. The district is, you guys, the district is required, obligated, and has the duty to determine current, accurate, present levels for every single child on an IEP because of what happened last school year. They must determine how much regression has taken place for your individual child. That is their duty, and that's what they must do. Do you think they're going to do that for 7,500 kids on IEPs in Corona-Norco Unified School District or whatever school district you are in? No, they are not. They're going to just, half-assed start off and move forward, and your child is not going to have current present levels of performance. Therefore, if you don't have current and accurate present levels of performance, everything is off. So your goals and objectives are going to be off because they're not accurate according to what your child's levels are right now today. That means that everything else, it throws everything off for the new school year. You'll never be able to determine how much progress they really made because you never started off with the current present level of performance. Plus, you won't be able to ask the school district for compensatory education because they're going to say that they're probably not so far behind than when they left in March. You know, if you just let them willy-nilly say, oh, they didn't really regress, they did so well, and they didn't, and they don't do it according to law, which is assessment, which is actually doing either informal or standardized testing, okay? They must do that, parents. You need to ask them to do that. Then you're gonna move forward with current and legal facts of where your child is today to move forward with how you're going to develop the IEP and your child's plan for the upcoming school year. So make sure you get that in with your IEP meeting. Make sure you get your present levels. Make sure you talk about your device. You want to know, I want to make, if it goes past 2 weeks, guys, and you're still waiting for your device, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, they owe you that month too, along with March, April, May, and June, what they didn't give you. So just keep track of these things. Keep your journals, keep your logs. Make your notes. You'll never be able to remember all this if you just keep it in your head. You got to make logs, journals, and notes, which I've also been recommending to parents all summer long. And again, I'll talk about my parent brigade, my monthly parent membership. This is what I teach, coach, navigate, guide, and interpret all of this stuff to parents in my monthly membership. I give you the scripts, I give you the logs, I give you the data collection worksheets, the fill in the blank letters, how to develop your parent agenda for your IEP meeting, how to follow up with your IEP meeting with a parent letter, how to disagree when they say no, how to appeal their no, how to get your child a real education this school year. Because parents, if you don't take some of these steps, our kiddos are going to continue to regress and lose skills. So I hope you look into some of those reading programs and just hang in there, guys. Take some of these steps. If you have questions, I'd be happy to answer them. You can go to, if you haven't joined my informed or special education parent empowerment network Facebook private group, please join that, because you can ask me questions in there and I can communicate with you in there and give you specific answers according to your child's individual needs. And you can also find more information about the Parent Brigade monthly membership on that page as well. I have it on my Advocates for Angels page too. So please like and share, parents, this Facebook Live so we can help other parents across the nation who are struggling with the same things we are. And take care, guys. Hang in there if you're starting school this week. And I'll see you next Monday. Or maybe I'll see you on my Wednesday night town hall meeting every Wednesday night at 5 o'clock. See you guys. Bye-bye.